Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Dan with me. 3-1 win against Palace. European Super League No, not Super League, boy. I keep doing that. Complete opposite. European Conference League is in sight, Dan. How you feeling, mate?
Man, I'd rather headbutt a Javelin than go into the European Conference League. Honestly, man, I can't be dealing with this, man. I don't want Europa Conference crap. Just keep us out of Europe for a year. It's what we deserve. It's where we should be. And let's just try and rebuild again, because it doesn't matter what we want. Cecil, this owner seems to be staying put for the time being, and this manager is staying put for the time being, which shows where we are as a club. And hopefully we as a fan base can start to unite and protest again to get the owner out, because clearly, in my opinion, he's the issue. This manager is not good enough. I don't care in the last 23 games that we're second in the league. It doesn't bother me, because he already threw away the first half of the league and screwed up against Villarreal. So he needs to be sacked. I don't care that we've beaten West Brom now and Palace and Chelsea. He needs to go. In terms of the game tonight, I missed some of the start because I couldn't get off work, unfortunately. So I missed the first goal. But the second half, I'm not gonna lie, man, I saw boring football again, and I'm thinking, come on, like, please show me something. Like,
the first half. Sorry to cut you down. The first half was a bit. Well, the first half was a bit more enlightening than the second. I must admit, second half we looked like we was on the back foot for most of the game until towards the last, in my opinion, last 10-15. So you missed kind of I'd say the best part of the game. And I'm just going to ask you a question before we get back into the game. We said about the owners looking like he's not going to sell. He's made, obviously dropped his statement, and Arteta's looking to stay. Is there anything that could change anything that could change your mind on just I don't know, things looking brighter for the future? Say big signings, and maybe a new manager, but the Kroenke stay. Will that make you a bit more happier for the future of Arsenal? Or do you say everyone has to go? It needs a whole clear out. That's the only way I think
happy. He needs a clear out, Cecil, if I'm honest, because I don't think we can keep the manager and be happy with the owner, and I don't think we can get rid of the owner and be happy with the manager, because as far as I'm concerned, they're both a problem. And ultimately, it's Kroenke who's the problem, because he was happy for the board who he employs, by the way, to appoint this manager who was never ready. Let's be honest. We've seen improvements attacking wise against West Brom. I mean, Chelsea had to score for us to beat them, but we'll take a win. And then we go and win today in the second half, which, I mean, I say the second half, it was really the last couple of kicks of the game, wasn't it, in the end? But essentially, we need this owner out, mate, if we want to move forward. There's rumours of a war chest. Bruv, I've been hearing this for 10 years. We've never had a war chest. We were told we were going to get a war chest back in 2016, and we bought Petr Cech, and that was it. So I don't trust this owner at all. I don't trust this board. And they've shown me this season that they're happy to put a novice in charge and ruin our season. And that's essentially what we've done. And people can sit there now and flip-flop again and say that we've beaten West Brom and Palace, so he's definitely the man. That 23 games since Christmas Day, and we're second in the league or third.
That's 4 in a row. That's 4 in a row, Dan. 4 wins in a row. Anymore?
This is what's going to happen, mate. This is what's going to happen with the fan base, because there's such flip-flops. And this is what happens, mate. You've got to be consistent or sit. Listen, I've got nothing against opinions changing. Nothing against that whatsoever. I wanted mine to be changed. I wanted him to lift that Europa League so that I could say, bow down to the guy and say, fair play, 2 trophies in 2 years. But he didn't do that, did he? He proved me right. I so wanted to be proved wrong, man. I really did. And beating West Brom and Palace and Chelsea, it ain't gonna prove anything, because essentially our season's been a disaster. Even if we win next week, it's still a disaster. That Europa Conference League is a disaster. That is not an achievement for me. It's not progress like we're supposed to be seeing. So I want the owner gone, yes. I want the manager gone still, And the manager has to be an Antonio Conte level. It can't be, go and get Graham Potter or Scott Parker, or we need to go and get a proper experienced coach, because I feel even with signings, which I do think we'll make, look at the players we're linked with, bruv. Ryan Bertrand, Tosin, Sander Berger, Bissouma, who I rate, he's probably going to be our star signing. We're not going to get Jack Grealish, bruv. We're not going to go and get Haaland. We're not going to go and get Sancho. Forget it. It ain't going to happen. So we're going to have to try to do what Liverpool did a few seasons ago under Klopp, where they were going to get Robertson. They were getting Firmino from Hoffenheim and players from Southampton and Roma. We're going to have to do that,
rebuild.
We're going to have to rebuild, man.
But that's going to need a manager to manage and coach them players to their best ability and build again, which unfortunately for me as well, I don't think Arteta is a man for that, which is a terrible shame. Just on that, before we wrap up quickly, I just want to get your opinions on what positions do you think we need to fill this summer? What are the key positions? How many as well? Be very intrigued to hear.
Yeah, I think there's 6 or 7, bro, if I'm honest with you. And I don't think that's enough to get in one window. I really do feel that. I still think the backup goalkeeper needs to be sorted, because if it's going to be Matt Ryan, fair play, just get it sorted. We need one that's better than Runnison. We need a right back. I've been a fan of Callum Chambers since he's come in, but he isn't a number 1 right back. Max Aarons or Lamptey would be a much better option for me. I still feel that centre midfield is the weakest it's ever been since I've been an Arsenal player. A Hustle player. I wish Arsenal fan. And I think when you look at Xhaka, Elneny, Ceballos, Willock, Maitland-Niles, Guendouzi, Torreira, we're saying bye to the majority of them, in my opinion, in the summer. So we need to look at Bissouma, but we also need to be looking at somebody else in there. I don't care if it's Samari from Lille, although there's rumours he's going to Leicester. I don't care if it is that Sander Berger. We need somebody in there that's going to be able to give us what we need, and that's an anchor in midfield and transition. I still feel there's a creative midfielder in there. If it's not going to be Jack Grealish or Martin Odegaard, then Emi Buendia from Norwich is a player that I do like. But that's the level we're at. And I still feel that we need the centre-forward position sorted. If it isn't going to be Aubameyang next season or Lacazette, then go and get Edouard from Celtic or what's his name from Mönchengladbach, Marcus Thuram. Somebody like that who's going to give us something for firepower and some strength up top. Backup left back is needed. I think Ryan Bertrand's a lazy signing. I think it's our scouts saying, do you know what? Yeah, let's just go and get him. Let's not search anywhere else. Let's not search anywhere else. We've done that so many times, haven't we, over the years with Mikhail Sylvestre, William Gallas, Yossi Benayoun, Kim Kalstrom. I don't want Ramsey or Szczesny coming back, man. Keep them. That's been done. We're not going back to 2010, bruv. We need to be moving forward, not backwards. So let's keep it there. I just wanted to quickly say, though, Cecil, before we wrap up, Pepe. Just lastly, Pepe, right?
Go on.
I feel so strongly that this guy gets a lot of criticism. Now, I'm not an absolute lover of the player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, because I've criticised him. I'm going to be honest. I am one of those.
Frustrating player, isn't he? Yeah,
he is.
Frustrating player.
He is.
But I looked at his numbers. He's made 88 appearances for Arsenal, right? Most of those are a substitution or he gets brought off. And he scored 22 goals and 15 assists in those numbers, right? Yeah. I'm going to read you out the first 2 seasons of 2 players that become legends at the club. 56 games, 12 goals and only 5 assists. Freddie Ljungberg, right? 61 appearances, 13 goals and 22 assists. Robert Pires. Now, when Freddie Ljungberg and Robert Pires started, no, they weren't frustrating. But what they did have was world-class leaders around them. Pepe does not have that. And he is a £30 million player. And if he would have been that for Arsenal, we would be lauding him, saying, do you know what? That's a hell of a return for a £30 million signing. We've only paid, I think, 28 million so far from Nicolas Pepe out of the 72 that we've got to pay, because it's in installments, right?
It's in installments. It's in Klarna, credit.
So does he deserve more credit? It's a question. I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying the stats ain't and the numbers ain't as bad as people are making out. Frustrating? Of course he is. So predictable on the left-hand side? Right-hand side. Yes, he is. Yeah. But do you know what? I don't think we should be slating him as much as we should Aubameyang and Lacazette as much this year, because their numbers ain't looked as pretty. Lacazette's had a fairly good season for numbers, goal-scoring wise, and Aubameyang's been poor this season. But we're lauding Saka and Smith Rowe. 5 goals and 1 goal. Really?
Yeah, their number. Yeah, I know. It's a tough one. Dan, what you said there, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to be honest, Pepe for me, he is, like you said, the most frustrating player, I think, in the Arsenal squad. But his numbers they don't lie. They really don't. A lot of them are Europa League involvements, but still, he's been a star in that. And I think what you said there, he's not around world-class players as well. That's, I think, affecting him and damaging his performances. But he's not the problem. Definitely not. But there's still a long way for Pepe to go. I think he's still got more to offer at this Arsenal club. So hopefully going forward. Yes, I've got in the back. Laurie saying, and he's a manager that believes in him. I think with different management and players around him,
Laurie.
yeah, he'll be a different player. But listen, Dan, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Thank you for giving your words, and we'll speak to you again soon, buddy.